hi everyone, it's Megan Dixon, Director of Regional Development with RDA Orana here. Before I introduce our guest today, let me tell you a little bit about RDA Orana's free email updates provided to businesses to help them navigate the myriad of programs that are being released at the moment from both state and federal government. You can head on over to our website, rdaorana.org.au/support, to subscribe to our free daily updates, which provide you with the latest programs being released and a little bit of meaning of them for your business as well. Now, on to the program. So this episode of See Orana Conversations is with Renee Harrison, who works with SP Solutions, a business that actually services the mining industry from Dubbo. What we're talking with Renee about is how her business is actually and how she works has been impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. Renee, welcome to the program. It's wonderful to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Megan. Thanks for inviting me to be a part of this.
So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're located?
Yeah, look, Renee Harrison, as you've already said, I'm located in Dubbo, and I've worked for a very small consultancy company for the past 20 years, and we specialise in high-level risk management for the mining industry. So we're looking at principal hazard management programs. We do a lot of training for underground supervisors for their statutory ticket position, and also do a lot of compliance work, which also includes machinery compliance into mines as well. So that's sort of the key areas that we focus in.
And your clients are all over Australia, aren't they?
They are, yeah. We've got we've got predominantly metal mines, so not coal mines. So our clients, most mines in New South Wales, then also do a lot of work for OEMs or original equipment manufacturers in Perth, in Mount Isa, Townsville, Tasmania, and and we used to do a fair bit of work at Olympic Dam once upon a time, so South Australia.
So obviously that involved a fair bit of travel. So what were you doing before COVID-19 in terms of how you delivered services to your customers?
Oh, look, for before COVID, we would there was a reasonable amount of travel. You'll have to excuse me. I'm actually sitting outside, and there's a lot of flies. I've taken my daughter for a horse ride. But anyway, look. Prior to COVID, we used to travel a lot to our client bases, so we'd be doing a lot of work on mine sites. So that the travel would either be, depending where the mine is, would either be driving or flying. So they were our two main ways of getting to clients, and also due to the location of some of our clients, like for example Mount Isa, you would also stay on mine camps, and you'd be away from home for sort of up to a week, and living on mine camps and so forth.
So what's changed for you since COVID-19?
Look, the thing that's really changed is the ability to go on mine sites. They've postponed a lot of face-to-face programs. Like we were doing a lot of training, like I said, for the statutory ticket holders, the underground supervisors in New South Wales. And the thing that has changed is that the sites have had to postpone that particular training. So what that means is that we haven't been able to go on to sites as such, and that's in regards to social distancing requirements and rules, which are still applicable to the mining industry. And the other thing that's so that has been postponed. And the other thing that's happened is flying, because we're also flying to regional areas such as Broken Hill and so forth, and interstate. That has ceased because, like for example, if I went to Tasmania to do some work, I'd have to self-isolate for 14 days, and also to your regional airlines, even heading over to Broken Hill, the flights are no longer running. So that has meant the work that we still have, be it say machine inspections for compliance requirements, we've had to drive. Yeah. So all of a sudden, a trip to Broken Hill, for example, that was 90 minutes fly one way is now an 8-hour drive one way. So that's been that's had a massive impact on just efficiencies and the time taken to get to your clients.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So for you, what's been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge has probably been the driving, most definitely. Like last week, I clocked up 3,000 kilometres to get to clients. So that's over a 7-day period. So that's been a challenge. Also, too, interesting being on the road in a pandemic. So making sure that you've actually got on board soap, water, hand sanitizer, some things. So if you happen to stop to fuel up, that you can actually wash your hands, because what we've also found is some places won't open their public toilets or their toilets to their roadhouses. So all of a sudden you can't actually wash your hands. So all of that sort of stuff. So you've got to be a little bit more prepared, and also to the fatigue management side of it. So managing, making sure that you've got regular rest breaks, you're stopping, and also the other thing that I found interesting too, on one of the trips I did, I actually rang the hotel to check that they weren't hosting COVID people in isolation, what their cleaning regimes are, what their sanitisation regimes are, because all of a sudden you're staying in a city that has cases of COVID. So that's been a challenge. And then from a work perspective is, like I said, we deliver a lot of training, but we also own our own registered training organisation. So one of the big things we're doing at the moment is putting all our courses fully online, so available to our clients to be able to complete them online, and we're using a lot of technology to deliver programs to our sites that because they still have requirements to keep people up to date and maintenance of competencies and so forth. So that's from a business perspective, putting all our training online, and then from getting to your clients where you're allowed to do work is the whole fatigue management and making sure you're prepared to travel during a pandemic, and you've got some things on board so you can keep yourself clean and hygienic and so forth. So it is a bit of a challenge.
So how are you servicing the clients that are interstate?
We're not. No, so that's if I look at an example is, I was meant to do an audit or an MDG 15 audit on a truck that was going into a mine in Broken Hill, but they configure it in Tasmania. So in the end, I had to go to Broken Hill to actually audit the vehicle or the machine. So and then the other thing we have done is a lot of FaceTime stuff with workshop guys, so that to sort of go, well, look, we're looking for certain requirements on the gear. Has it met the intent of this particular guideline? So we're not travelling interstate. Otherwise, we'd be in lockdown for 14 days. But lockdown in Tassie mightn't be too bad. No, we're not travelling interstate. So our travel is restricted to New South Wales only.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that as risk managers, you'd be all over policies and procedures, which you kind of alluded to when you talked about how you're managing your travel. What's been a key takeaway for you and your business from this pandemic?
A key takeaway is that, one, you have to sort of be quite flexible in your ability to be able to offer services that still add value for your clients. You need to, it's hard to explain, but you also need to come to grips with the fact that you're not going to be as efficient as you normally are because of travel restraints, and also it's about keeping the client informed of the changes and sort of say, look, there will be some delays in getting you your final report, for example, because of these reasons, and the clients are pretty good with it. But I think it's just being, the key takeaway is just being a bit patient with the inefficiencies of what we're dealing with, and we're not the only people in this boat. Yeah.
All right, fabulous. So in all of your travels, what's something great that you've heard about happening in response to COVID-19, either in your community or something that you've seen while you've been doing those 3,000 Ks?
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think it was quite interesting going on a road trip like that. And I think the thing that really impressed me was not only from a city perspective, seeing how hotels were managing it, taking it seriously, and quite good, like with their cleaning and so forth. But it was more when you start to go into the outback towns. And probably the place that impressed me the most was a little roadhouse in Emdale. So Emdale's about 158 k's west of Cobar. Fantastic roadhouse, make the best coffee. But they were taking this beyond seriously. So it was really quite refreshing to see this little business. They had, all the requirements set up for social distancing, for being able to provide truck drivers with meals. They had hand sanitizer. They had distance to the window. They came out, I fueled up, and they came out and sprayed the Bowser pump handle with sanitizer. They had pay waves set up, and they were also turning away caravanners because they just didn't want to break any particular rules around that, because they offer camping and stuff like that. So that was really impressive, because you could easily think, oh, they're out in the boondocks, they won't know anything about this. But they were really, really aware of COVID. They were really aware of their requirements in sanitisation, cleaning, social distancing, the whole thing. So it was really impressive to see. Yep.
Fantastic. And they do good coffee too, don't they?
They do. If you're ever travelling through Emdale, it's probably one of the best cups of coffee I've had. No, it's a terrific little roadhouse. I'm sure they're being impacted severely with trade and business. So I hope they survive, because, it's a fantastic couple doing a really great job. And their amenities are immaculately clean and so forth. So so that was really good to see. Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, thank you very much. That's the business questions. We've got fast 5 to finish with that I didn't
great. Sorry about the flies.
So want to hear my fast 5? So
fire away, Megan.
So how many toilet rolls do you have at home at the moment?
Now we have, I think we've got 24.
Whoa, you're a hoarder.
We are.
So besides toilet paper, what else are you hoarding?
What else am I hoarding? Chocolate, hoarding that, and probably disinfectant. Yeah, hoarding that. Yeah.
What are you missing the most?
Oh, look, I am missing seeing people in person. Yeah, catching up, and just the ability to catch up with friends easily. And it's funny, before COVID, everybody works flat out and you never have time for anybody, and you sort of think, we really, now that you can't see your friends, it's you should make more time for them. Busy is not an excuse. And also missing seeing my parents and my sister and her partner, who they've got a 9-month-old baby and they live in Sydney. So I haven't seen him for ages. So that's quite disappointing. Yeah. So it's the people contact I'm missing. Yeah.
What's your favourite app for staying in touch?
Oh, look, I must admit we have some funny family group chats on WhatsApp. And we use it for my husband's family as well, because we've got my sister-in-law lives in Scotland. So I must admit we've just found that easy to use. But look, most platforms are pretty good. Messenger works, text messaging works, FaceTime works. But we use WhatsApp a fair bit.
Yeah, fabulous. And last one is, when the restrictions lift, what's the first thing that you're going to do?
Oh, go for a ski at Burrendong. I miss that too, because it's past 12% now. So I think that'll be, and then visit my family and my friends. Yep.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you, Renee Harrison. Thank you very much for joining me today on our See Orana conversation series. So for those who are taking the time to watch this, don't forget, head on over to rdaorana.org.au/support to register to receive our daily updates on what's new and what's out there to support you through this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much.